Zeng Guofan had a distinctive trait in his reading. If he couldn't understand a book, he wouldn't stop trying. He would not switch to another book until he understood the one in hand. Even if it took him an entire day to understand a single sentence, he would keep at it, researching and reflecting until he finally grasped it. This persistence was his character. He never gave up easily. This is the essence of his strength. He once wrote a couplet that he was quite proud of, which read, "Nourishing a spring air, propping up two poverty-stricken bones." This reflects his remarkable integrity. He once said, "The defeat in military affairs is either due to arrogance or laziness. One of these must be present." If you fail in battle, it is either due to arrogance or laziness. Similarly, if you fail in life, it is also due to one or the other. Therefore, diligence removes 100 flaws. Despite having many shortcomings, including poor character and limited intelligence, diligence can overcome all problems. Although the body is weak, it should not be overly cherished. He knew his health was frail, but believed it should not be overly pampered. He described his 5 types of diligence, which he practiced throughout his life. Diligence in body. Body diligence means actively engaging in physical effort. For hazardous and distant journeys, you must physically go and verify. For difficult circumstances, you must personally experience them. This means you should move around more and personally inspect situations. Diligence in eyes. Eye diligence means paying close attention. When meeting someone, observe them carefully. When reading a document, review it repeatedly. It is said that Zeng Guofan had a strong interest in physiognomy, though it is debated whether he wrote The Mirror of Ice. He would scrutinize anyone he met, assessing whether they were suitable for his military. If you give him a piece of paperwork, he will seriously and carefully read it for a long time. Today, many people quickly pass on information, without fully understanding it, lacking the careful observation that Zeng Guofan practiced. Diligence in hands. Hand diligence involves taking immediate action. Quickly tidy up things that are easily discarded. Immediately record things that are easily forgotten. Keep things organized and make quick notes. Diligence in speech. Speech diligence means effective communication. To colleagues, offer mutual advice. To subordinates, give repeated guidance. It's important to communicate and instruct others regularly, rather than remaining silent. Diligence in mind. Mind diligence involves deep thinking. Where sincerity reaches, golden stone open. Where earnest thinking accumulates, even ghosts and gods respond. Zeng Guofan's diligence extended to writing approximately 20 million characters over his lifetime. Averaging 600,000 characters annually over 33 years, he wrote with a brush while also managing military affairs, solving numerous problems and battling illness. His level of diligence was extraordinary. Among his family letters, about 1459 have survived. In the 11th year of the Zhenfeng, 435 letters in that 1 year alone. He wrote to his brothers every evening, not merely recounting daily events, but sharing his thoughts and reflections. In the end, people say that Zeng Guofan worked himself to death. After dealing with the Taiping Rebellion, he went on to fight the Nian Rebellion. By the time he finished with the Nian forces, his health was in severe decline. There are several records of him suffering from incontinence and numbness in his legs, rendering him unable to walk. At times, he was so debilitated that he needed to be carried back from official events. These were likely signs of stroke, as his family had a history of cardiovascular issues. Both his grandfather and father had died from similar conditions. Let's think about what we can do a year before we die, and then look at what Zeng Guofan was doing. He did not cease his high-level activities or his practice of self-examination until the very end of his life. On January 29th, just 5 days before his death, in the morning, he had his pulse felt twice and was given a prescription. After breakfast, he sorted through documents. He received 5 visitors. He then read the writings of the Cheng brothers, Cheng Yi and Cheng Hao. When visitors came, he engaged in conversation with them. After lunch, he reviewed the day's documents and met with another visitor. He checked the draft manuscripts and processed documents. He then had a discussion in the main hall and took a brief nap in the evening. At night, he revised 5 letters, totaling over 500 characters. Even 5 days before his death, he continued to keep a diary, noting that his health had recently been very poor, detailing many of his physical problems. On February 1st, 4 days before his death, he wrote in his diary, "I have long been in a state of mental disarray. Matters that should be concluded remain unfinished, and things that need organizing are still unaddressed, like fallen leaves scattered on a mountain with no place to settle. After more than 30 years of official service and achieving the highest rank, my academic achievements are nil, my moral conduct is unimpressive, and my old age is filled with regret." Even with only 4 days left to live, he continued to criticize himself for not achieving anything, despite having reached the highest official rank. On February 2nd, 3 days before his death, he continued working as usual, but felt unusually fatigued. Unable to handle even a single task, by the afternoon, his right hand trembled and he could not hold a pen, nor could he speak. Experiencing the same symptoms as on January 26th, he had to cease his work. On February 3rd, the day before his death, in the morning, he had someone come to examine him, cleared documents after breakfast, read the commentary on Neo-Confucianism, played 2 games of Go, and then read the commentary on Neo-Confucianism again. After lunch, he reviewed the day's documents and met with one visitor. After a nap, he checked draft manuscripts. At this time, he again showed signs of hand tremors and a shaky heart. He continued to read the commentary on Neo-Confucianism and went to sleep at 4 a.m. He kept continuously reading and working. February 4th, the 11th year of the Tongji era, which was March 12th, 1872 AD, became the day of his death. His daughter recorded that after lunch on March 12th, the family sisters had cut up some oranges for him. After eating, he said he felt good today and decided to take a walk in the garden. While walking, he suddenly collapsed. His son helped him, wondering if his shoes were improperly worn, but discovered that his legs could no longer support him. They quickly brought a chair for him to sit in the hall, and he passed away shortly after. Zeng Guofan died at the age of 61, which was not very old for that time. Given his circumstances, he could have taken better care of his health, yet he worked intensely, wrote and read every day, perfectly integrating self-cultivation with work. He never saw studying as merely work. He viewed it as a way to cultivate himself. This continuous improvement and self-cultivation were the highest pursuits of a Chinese scholar. In the end, it is about integrating personal development with one's career. Today, many people often say they don't have time for self-cultivation, reading, or other activities. It seems that daily work, tasks, and interactions with others are merely for dealing with obligations. In reality, these activities are part of the self-cultivation process. Look at Zeng Guofan, who continued reading and writing until the very end of his life. His entire life exemplifies this.